show right here on In Touch News, where everybody is a star. And of course, the biggest star is you. My name is Life Malcolm. I'm your host for the evening. Uh, First of all, just want to say I'm definitely happy to be here. And as is my custom, I got to give a shout out and a deep and profound thank you to my man. Oh, DJ, cut the music. I can't act like we're not a little late. So let me first address that. Yeah, we doing man, as you could tell, those of you who've tuned in before can see the camera angles different. We're doing different things around here in the studio. Sometimes improvement takes a little bit of patience, and so I appreciate you being patient, sticking around, tuning in. We here we are, ready to do it. So I just wanted to address that. I can't act like it's not a little past 6, but it is. Don't worry. We're going to take a break at the same time. So, we're going to take breaks at the same time, move the show along as usual. So just stick around. We're going to have hopefully, we going to have a good time. I know I'm going to have a good time. But, yeah, back to my customary expressions of appreciation to my main man, DJ CEO, and, of course, Mrs. DJ CEO, a.k.a. Tampa Bay Tammy. Appreciate them so much for putting this platform together, making it happen each and every week, especially for the Life Malcolm show. This always, this is one of the highlights of my life, to be able to come here and sit down, talk with you all, share thoughts, share expressions of, African internationalism, social progress, all that kind of stuff. So it's also incumbent upon me to give a shout out to my main man. Got a lot of main mans, right? My main man, DJ Bezel in the building, doing his thing. Yeah, behind the boards, making it all look good for you, making it crispy, making it sound good, and all that. Also, big shout out to you for joining us, the listening audience of the Life Malcolm show. You, no matter, listen, you are super important to this process. I hope that you know that. That's why I encourage you to call in, communicate, hit the chat. My man Bezel got the chat on lock. He ain't gonna let your comments come through unnoticed. So you can comment. I don't know what platform you listening on or watching on. I don't know what platform on which you are listening or watching, but let me say this: you can watch at www.intouchnews.com. You can also watch at the on YouTube on the In Touch News channel, and you can watch on Facebook on the In Touch News Facebook page. And I'm sure on those platforms, the latter two, you can type in your comments and questions or what have you. And you can also call in. This is a call-in show, 813-444. Somebody calling me now. I wonder who this is. Hold on. I'm gonna do something that's not normally my custom, but I don't know. Let's see who this caller is. They're gonna be on the radio. They don't even know. Hello, caller. You on the air?
Hi. This is actually Juliana Nelson.
Okay. All right, Juliana. You calling me? I'm on a radio show right now. But I wanted to answer the call because I didn't know who it was, and you called like right as I was giving out the phone number to the radio show. So listen,
Really?
yeah, really, for real. Like you're on speakerphone, and like everybody who's watching and listening can hear you. So don't say anything you don't want anybody else to know. But I will call you back as soon as I get off the air in about an hour. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Oh, shout me out. I'm on air. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One time for Juliana, y'all. Thank you for calling, and we'll talk soon. Okay, I'll call you back when I get off. All right?
All right.
All right. So, yeah, you can call in just like Juliana did, but call this number that I'm about to give you now. 813-444-9588. It's right there. You can see it. It's right behind me. 813-444-9588. You can call in. Can you see it? It should be able to see it. Am I in the way?
No, you
Okay.
find it, but it might not.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, but maybe you can't see it. But again, it's 813-444-9588. Call the number, man. Hit me up. Let's talk. We're going to break shortly, so I'm gonna cut my something light a little short. You know, we generally start off the Life Malcolm show talking about something light, but something light is always sometimes something heavy. So the three things I had in mind to talk to you about on the Something Light segment was the gun show. Man, the Tampa Gun Show was dope this weekend. I really had a good time. I bought some stuff that I had on my list. I had a list of things that I wanted to buy. I'm gonna tell you one thing. So I've developed a strategic approach to the gun show. One, carry enough cash. That's number one. You got to carry enough cash. Don't the cars, they try to charge you extra and this and that. So carry cash. You can't park unless you pay cash. And I don't know if you can get in unless you pay cash. So pay cash, get the coupons, but carry cash. Get in there, and sometimes you can make some good deals. So my new strategy is when I go to one gun show, I buy equipment. When I go like self-defense, firearms and stuff, I buy that one trip because the gun show comes around every couple months or something, it seems. And so the next gun show, I buy, you know what I buy? I buy bullets. Buy bullets. You know, it's a lot of people got guns.
Need that ammunition.
They ain't got no bullets. A lot of people got guns, a lot of guns, but don't have no bullets. So one trip I go, I buy, body armor, goggles, masks, canisters, stuff, on the defensive side of the game. Then on the next trip, I buy ammo. And so I don't know if that's gonna work for you, but I'm telling you, it's a formula that's working for me. We doing well in our being prepared. In the being prepared category. So yeah, but it was a good gun show, man. A lot of good deals. I like going on Sundays too. When you go on Sundays, you get good deals. It's the last day of the gun show, and if they haven't sold out of what they, of their inventory, and or they feeling the pinch, or they haven't met the numbers they wanted to make, you make some good deals. So I like going Sundays. I figured that out too. So consider that a helpful tip. The other thing I want to talk about was good friends. I was fortunate to spend some time with really good friends this past weekend. My main man D-Let, my brother. My main man Kenny Ramos, another brother, and my main man Jonathan Negron. Like a brother, he getting into the brother sphere, but definitely a super dope friend. Invited me over, and we all kicked it. Just had a really good time. It was delightful. Met some tremendous people over the weekend. Well, actually, starting Thursday, I went to a conference in Orlando Thursday and Friday. A conference called Death is Different. Ran into Attorney Grady Irvin, which was cool. He's really, really impressive attorney, especially in trial. And we've known him before, known him before the weekend. We've only hardly had the opportunity to speak on the phone. But this weekend, I got an opportunity to shake his hand, and it was just a really delightful time. And today, out of all those exciting encounters and worthwhile meetings I had, starting Thursday up until today, I had another opportunity to kick it with Miss Pam Lewis, who is Tyron Lewis's mother. Tyron Lewis was shot and killed by St. Petersburg police in 1996, October 1996, and in St. Petersburg, and that sparked the St. Petersburg rebellions that will forever remain a significant part of the African liberation struggle in this country. And just had the opportunity to be around Miss Lewis today, and she was just so sweet. She was like, she was happy to see me again. I saw her when I was in St. Petersburg in October for the 25th commemoration of her son's murder at the hands of the police, and that was our first time meeting. And she saw me this time around, remembered who I am, and when we got ready to leave the meeting where we were, she hugged. She said, I want to give you a hug. And she gave me a hug. And she said, you smell so good. I was like, Miss Lewis, thank you. You know, she was just real nice, real sweet, and I was just really, really honored to be in her presence because she has stood as such a strong and political figure after the murder of her son. She's been really significant in St. Petersburg and the struggle for renaming Tyronn Lewis, renaming 18th Avenue south of Tyronn Lewis Ave. What's 18th? 18th. What? 1245 18th Avenue. Yeah, renaming 18th Avenue into Tyronn Lewis Ave. So I mean, she's just a really tremendous force, and I had a really good time being there. So that's my something like. I had to kind of run through it, you know, because I want to stay on target with the rest of the stuff we got coming up for you. After this, we're going to jump into a little political education, starting with the African Pledge. We'll see you on the other side of the break. It's the Life Malcolm Show, y'all, right here on In Touch News.
Listening to Tampa Bay Tammy,
your girlfriend,
on In Touch Radio. In Touch Radio.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers on the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man. Call Ricky.
Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay, call Ricky, he coming. He take the kids state of Florida, grab a pin of sundown. 184-361 Rick. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, push your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361 Rick. Call Ricky, ask Ricky, the legal and medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361 Rick. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Yo. All right, we got it. Welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show. We're going to jump right into this political education. By now, you might know that we start with the African Pledge, and that pledge reads as follows. Man, we got to start putting it up on the board. Like, so I'm going to shoot that to you. So, like, we put it up there, and they can read it while I'm reading it. We do that. I think that's a good idea. All right, bet. All right, but for now, just going to read it to you. It's the African Pledge. I pledge allegiance to my African people. I pledge to develop my mind and body to the greatest extent possible. I will learn all that I can in order to give my best to my people and our struggle for liberation through revolution. I will keep myself physically fit, building a strong body free from drugs and other substances which weaken me and make me less capable of defending myself, my family, and my African brothers and sisters. I will unselfishly share my knowledge and understanding with others in order to bring about change more quickly. I will discipline myself to correct my energies thoughtfully and constructively rather than wasting time in idle hatred. I will train myself never to hurt or to allow others to harm my African brothers and sisters, for I recognize that we need every African man, woman, and child to be physically, mentally, and psychologically strong. These principles I pledge to practice daily and to teach them to others in order to unite my people in our struggle for freedom and independence. All right, that's the African Pledge. Right on, right on. Man, before I jump into this political education session, we're going to be looking at some Ho Chi Minh. Man, that's terrible grammar. This political education session is going to examine a bit certainly review, maybe examine if we can a bit of Ho Chi Minh's missive called "The Disease: The Fear of Responsibility." But before I do that, man, I want to correct an error I think I made last week on Malcolm X. Yeah, I said it was his birthday.
Said it was his birthday, but it was
Yeah, that was the day he died. Yeah,
assassination day.
the day he was assassinated. Yeah, okay. How you know?
Because
Somebody said something?
somebody said something. And
Who said something?
Well, because
I haven't even seen whoever said. Who said it?
well, no.
Oh.
I don't know. It wasn't like that. It was like family was like, "Are you?" It's not the day he died.
No, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
no.
not the day his birthday is. The
Yeah,
day he died.
yeah, man. So I forget what I think I had. Okay, so I know there's an African Liberation Day celebration in May. It's going on with the African People's Socialist Party. May is when he was born in May.
I think,
So
yeah.
I've been thinking about that day. I had been thinking about his birthday in the context of African Liberation Day. And when I got in here, I think I asked you, like, yo, you know who birthday it was? And it probably
Right.
threw you off because you're like, ain't nobody birthday you did support, right? Because it wasn't.
Well, it was actually my sister's birthday.
Oh.
And I would have known that, I would have remembered that, specific day. If she shares a birthday with Malcolm X, I would have like, oh, yeah, that's why I said it. I said, did you know you shared a birthday with Malcolm X? She was like, her and my wife were like, no, he didn't.
Nah.
He didn't have a birthday on that date.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, okay,
yeah.
I need to do my research.
Yeah. No. Malcolm was born in May. Yeah. So that was my bad. I wanted to correct that. I thought maybe somebody done jumped in the comments and then tried to. Yeah, but I didn't even. I forgot what made me think about it, yo. But I was like, yo, I think I said birthday. I didn't even go rewatch the show yet, but
Did say birthday, but
yeah.
But you was, I guess you in the moment because you was also praising because of the teaching and the lessons that he taught you.
Yeah, I was. So
And
it is. Even his assassination day. So I do this thing called venerations. Like I try to remember and recognize, acknowledge, and lift up Africans who've done and others who've done significant things in our world on their birthday and the days that they died, if I recall. And so like I do this on venerations. So I did that for Malcolm last week, but in my mind, it was I had been talking about the birthday, and so I translated that incorrectly to the significance of the day.
But at least you corrected it though, and you acknowledged it, and you.
Yeah. No, we got to do that. Yeah,
Good.
We got to do that. All right. Okay. So to the PE for today, I want to jump into Ho Chi Minh's thing. But I wanted to read this thing to y'all too. I think what I'm gonna do though is go ahead and read this Ho Chi Minh piece, and then come back to this other piece. All right, so y'all just check it out. I'm gonna read quickly because we don't have a whole lot of time, and I'm gonna get through as much as I can. I'm gonna be disciplined. I'm gonna just cut it off, and if we have to part to it, we'll part to it. But this is the disease of fear and responsibility. Ho Chi Minh says, whoever fears responsibility and does not have opinions is not a leader. Can y'all see that right there? So that's what we got going. That's the Ho Chi Minh piece. And so we're going to read from that right quick. And yeah, again, you can call in. The number's 813-444-9588. You could drop comments if you want, but we about to just read from this piece. Our northern part of Vietnam has endured a period of socialist growth with ever increasing and better results. The responsibility of restoring and developing the economy, the culture of consolidating defense and raising the people's standard of living is posing new and complex problems which must be resolved promptly and correctly. Confronting, if you don't know who Ho Chi Minh was, he was the revolutionary leader of the Vietnamese struggle against imperialists in the 1960s, the French and the U.S. namely. Confronting this situation, the cadre, the party member who was involved in building and carrying out the government policy has to have a high sense of responsibility and strength to do their job well, to contribute to the development of all of the advantages, to conquer all of the difficulties before us, and to push all of the activities in the right direction that quickly move society. In every activity and position, each cadre, each party member has to move forward in the struggle to establish the new economy, the new system, the new people, and the socialist system, while thinking and acting in the revolutionary spirit with the idea of leading the group, always being sensitive to the always being sensitive to the new and developing himself or herself in the job while struggling strongly against any idea or policy which is against the party and remaining firm against the conservative, passive, or negative idea. He said a lot. Comrade Lejeune said, the leader has to have a faithful character and be hardworking when applying the party policy and government. He or she has to have enough ability and strength to carry out the policy. He or she must have knowledge, experience, foresight, sensitivity to new ideas, have new ideas, be highly dynamic, coordinate the group with the ability to lead, make clear decisions, and know well the job and the situation. The request is that the cadre have high responsibility, but now among the cadre, there is fear of responsibility. The person who fears responsibility works only within what he is told to do, so as not to make any big mistakes. If he or she always worries about taking responsibility for what is happening, he or she will not develop for this reason. He or she will not want to chance things which are wrong, but would rather go along doing things the old way. When he or she fears responsibility, he becomes conservative. Uncle Ho said, conservative character, one who has no opinion, who goes along with the others, one who does not think about new ideas and is afraid to think of new ideas, one who does not was progress. That's not on me. That's how that's written. The society is developing more and more each day. And now ideas and action must develop. If we only keep on in the old way with no change, we will go nowhere. The person who fears responsibility, the person who fears responsibility is always shy, indecisive when he or she makes a decision, does not explain himself well in trying to make his own opinion clear, and does not want to make judgments in his or her job which involve his or her responsibility. Because of his or her fear of responsibility, the cadre waits passively for an order from a higher rank. Before the new job, he or she only sits waiting for the order from a high rank, not finding out for himself or proposing the decision beforehand. With the job, there is a clear order, but he or she prefers to wait for a guideline with much detail from the high-ranking person before beginning to act, not strongly deciding the method or measure to apply quickly and coincide with the reality of his or her local area or unit. The person who fears responsibility always reasons to work with the group, respects the group, and then depends upon the group. With the job belonging to his or her responsibility, the person who is afraid of responsibility does not decisively solve his or her job, and even with a small responsibility will always ask for a group opinion, waiting for a group decision, making it easier to decide. The person who brings the job that he is supposed to do into the group discussion only mentions in general that he feels uncomfortable, but does not clearly express his or her own opinion or make any suggestions in his or her job. The revolutionary must have individual responsibility. The group is necessary in the important discussions, but it is necessary to have individual responsibility and an individual control to avoid red tape and to avoid escaping responsibility. We need people who in any situation can find their way to administer with an independent spirit. And that last quote that started with the revolutionary must have, that was a quote Ho Chi Minh used from V.I. Lenin. And that takes us to next break. I'm going to I'll do a little bit of evaluation, but I wanted to share that piece with you, and I'm going to say a few words about it when we get back, and then, of course, we'll move into a word from the Word. But we'll be right back, right here on The Life Malcolm Show.
We're playing your favorite old school.
Nobody loves me better.
of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
Hello, Tampa Bay. This is Ainsley Doe with Florida Realty Unlimited. As a broker with 15 years experience and a veteran of the Navy, I do understand your needs. Real estate prices are up. So if you're thinking of selling your home, call me for a free market analysis. If you're planning to buy a home, please call me for a free buyer's consultation. For more information, call Ainsley Doe at 813-546-1954. Once again, the number is 813-546-1954. Or check my ad out in the In Touch email.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here-for-you.
All right. Welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show. We just read through a little bit of Ho Chi Minh's The Disease, the fear of responsibility. And, straight up, I have had that disease in the past. As a matter of fact, I realize now, even rereading this piece for the first time in a little while, why I used to hate working in groups. Because, when you work in groups, you show a lot of you have to take responsibility for what you did, what you didn't do, for what you did do incorrectly, or for stuff that you did not do, things you omitted. If you make errors, you have to, they show in the group. You can't hide from them. And I used to tell myself I didn't like working in groups because I just thought I didn't like working in groups. But now I'm reading this, I'm thinking I didn't like working in groups because at some point, I don't have this issue now because I work in the law firm, got to work in groups all the time. I'm always on group projects, covering trials for other attorneys and what have you. So it's like that's not an issue now, but I remember having that issue and summing it up incorrectly. And now, even reading this, I can sum up my own fears of responsibility a little bit better. And I like the idea of it being a disease because it means that there's a cure. And so, if you find yourself always needing somebody's opinion or approval, or being indecisive, being shaky at critical times when the group even might depend on you to make the decision, then that's a fear. That's a fear of responsibility. Certainly, according to Ho Chi Minh, and I'm inclined to unite to agree with the idea. And but the good news is it's a fear that you can cure. It's a disease. You can cure that. So I really want to. I think what I'm gonna do is, I know we have these segments in the Life Malcolm Show, but I think what I'm going to do is deal with this piece. Because it's a pretty dope piece, man. Because I know a lot of y'all, whether you admit it, a lot of y'all struggle with this same disease of fearfulness, of indecisiveness, of always asking. And there's nothing wrong with bouncing ideas off of colleagues and elders or what have you. But that's different. Bouncing ideas off of elders and colleagues to make sure that you have the right idea about a thing is different than not making a move until you get an answer from a colleague. Because that may not always be available to you. That resource may not always be available to you at the time you need to make a decision. You need to be able to make a decision. Oh man, I can't tell you how many times Cause I'm new at this law thing, like this lawyer thing, man. It comes with stories. I can tell you and I was just in front of this judge this morning, and the same kind of thing, a plea deal. He takes the plea deals because the probation violations when a probationer has a new law violation, that case goes back to the division. If it's just a technical violation, like didn't pay some money, didn't check in on time, didn't make curfew or something like that, then that VOP would stay in the VOP division with the VOP judge, violation of probation VOP. But if there's a new law violation, like the probationer allegedly committed a new crime, then the probationer goes back. The case goes back to the division. So I'm in front of this judge again. The first time I was in front of this judge, so I filled out the plea form. It was my first time filling out a plea agreement form, and this is the best thing for the client. We usually don't plead them out, but this is the best thing for this particular client. And so, I filled out the plea form, and it was all messed up. But I filled it out according to what the document said it required. And now that I look back at it, I think I was right. It's just that the judge did not agree that I was right. But I've since seen, and today I filled it out the same exact way that I filled it out the first time, because I know it was right. But when I filled it out, like he was like, "What is this? What's that?" And I'm scratching stuff up, but I just felt messed up. But I didn't go ask somebody. That's my point. I didn't ask, like, how should I fill this out? I made a decision, and I lived with that decision, and it died embarrassingly in court with that decision. But learn from it. And that's how you develop. I tell my daughters. I hope she listening. I hope you listening, Yeezy. And even you, Mizzy, if you tuned in, and take the shot. Take the shot. Don't be scared. If you miss it, you might miss it. So what? Miss it. But you're gonna learn how to make it next time. Dribble. Whatever. You're gonna learn how to do it better next time. All right. So that's that. Okay. Get rid of the disease of fear of responsibility. You can cure the disease. And speaking of diseases, let's move on to a word from the word. We got to jump right into it. This word from the word session comes from 2 Kings. Some people might say 2 Kings. Chapter 5, verses 1 through 14. We're not going to read all the verses, but we are going to read some. We do some reading on this on the Life Malcolm show, as you can tell. We're going to jump right in. Now, Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria. That means it's a big deal. As a matter of fact, the Bible says I'm reading from the King James Version. He was a great man with his master and honorable, because by him the Lord had given deliverance unto Syria. Meaning he did some conquering. He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper. Yeah, he was a leper. And the Syrian, if you don't know, leprosy is a disease. And back then, people who had leprosy, even now, I guess even though leprosy is not a disease you see much these days, but person with leprosy is called a leper, L-E-P-R. Now, he wasn't a leopard. He was a leper, L-E-P-E-R. And the Syrians had gone out by companies and brought away captive out of the land of Israel. Then there was a little maid, and she waited on Naaman's wife. And she said to her mistress, would God, my Lord, were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he would recover him of his leprosy. And one went in and told his Lord, saying thus and thus, and the maid that is of the land of Israel. Oh, I messed that up. And one went in and told the Lord, saying, thus and thus said the maid that is of the land of Israel. And the king of Syria said, Go, and I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. And he departed and took with him. Look here. Healthcare was high back in the day. Took with him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 pieces of gold and 10 changes of raiment, clothes. And it came to pass, I'm skipping verse 6. It came to pass when the king of Israel read the letter, he rent his clothes. That means he tore his clothes. Am I God to kill and to make alive that this man doth send unto me to recover a man of his leprosy? Wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeketh a quarrel against me. And it came to pass, it was so when Elisha, the man of God, the prophet, had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, and that he sent to the king, sent a message, say, wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to see me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. So Naaman came to see the prophet, and Elisha sent a messenger. Elisha didn't even go himself. He sent the messenger, and he told Naaman. Naaman was a mighty man in valor, a great man, with the host, the captain, and all that. Elisha, he sent the messenger. He didn't go see him himself. He sent the messenger to see this great man and said, go wash in the Jordan River 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. But Naaman was mad and went away. And he was like, I thought he would surely come out to me himself, right? But he sent the messenger, and stand and call on the name of the Lord God, and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. And then Naaman questions the remedy. He says, are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? So Naaman was mad. He went away, and his servants came and spake unto him, and my father, if the prophet had bid thee to do some great thing, wouldest thou not have done it? How much rather than when he saith to wash and be clean? And then Naaman went ahead. He went down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God, and his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. So you can cure yourself with a disease. You can cure yourself. Sometimes you got to listen. Sometimes you got to do things you don't like. But you can cure yourself of your disease. But one of the things that I heard a man named Leroy Elliott up out of Chicago. Leroy Elliott, you Google him, good preacher. But I heard him in the 80s, and Leroy Elliott preached a sermon called "The Naaman Story." And one of the things he said in his sermon that stuck with me, and I must have been, like I said, 12, 13, something like that. It was in the 80s. Something that stuck with me to this day. Leroy Elliott said, don't ever seek to mimic, imitate, or duplicate anybody else's lifestyle externally until you have ultimately understood their internal condition. Because Naaman was a mighty man of valor. He was a great captain, a great soldier, people respected, bowed down to him. I mean, he was a mighty, mighty man, respected by the kings and all this right here. But he was a leper, stinking, nasty, rotting flesh, crying out at night in pain and misery. He was a leper. And just to look at him with his shiny armor on and soldiering outfit and you wouldn't know what he was going through underneath. And people might have wanted to be like Naaman, but they ain't understood what Naaman was like. And so, yeah, all right. So this is gonna take us to last break of the Life Malcolm Show, man. I really appreciate you tuning in. You can call in at 813-444-9588. I hope to hear from you. If not, still got some more to talk about on the other side of the break right after this.
Angela Birdsong with Tampa Bay Politics. And not only can you catch us on InTouchNews.com every Wednesday at 11 a.m., we now have a website at TampaBayPoliticsPodcast.com. We are on Apple, Google, Spotify, and Stitcher, which you can log in at any time and listen to Tampa Bay Politics.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers on the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
All right. Welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show. I am your host, Life Malcolm. And, all right, so, yeah, the name and story. What you got any thoughts on that, Bessel? All right, Bessel say no thoughts. Okay, good.
No thoughts right now.
No, it's good. I just really appreciate the idea that, so like the River Jordan, the way I understood the story, although it doesn't, a lot of this isn't fleshed out in the particular verses we read. The River Jordan, Naaman raised the question, like, aren't there better waters in Damascus than all of Israel? Because the River Jordan was probably kind of muddy, dirty looking, like beaches here in Tampa, like, I don't know. You ever been to Jamaica? You ever been where you could see? You ever been to a nice beach? Like here, I guess you could go to Miami and see some nice beaches, but Tampa beach is nasty. Like the water green, brown, black.
You ever been to New York?
yeah. Seeing the stuff under the subway.
Yeah, no, just that water is nasty. You know what I'm saying? That water around that area.
Yeah.
I'm not saying New York is nasty, but I'm just saying.
Gotcha.
Up north is.
But I'm saying the beaches in Tampa look like that stuff under the subways in the wintertime.
Beaches in Tampa got nothing on the beaches in New York. They got, trust me, it's just dirty. But I understand dirtiness.
I'm gonna have to go along with you on that because I'm not an expert on New York beaches. Because I used to go, when I went to New York, I spent most of my time in New York in the summer, so it wasn't really beach time. You know what I mean? I say in the summer, in the winter. So I never really spent summers in New York. I spent most of my time in the winter, beach time, all that slush and stuff under the subway looked like the Clearwater Beach. But the point is, the Jordan River probably looked something like that. It was just, one didn't seem like some person should dip in. But, and I'm not saying that this I'm not saying that this is the case for the Clearwater Beach. Don't go getting in there thinking you're going to get healed. What I'm saying is, I'm sure it had this murkiness, right? The Jordan River, but that was also the minerals and the healing properties of the water. Like it's different. In some parts of the world, people drink water that looks almost like milk. It's cloudy. They call it glacial milk. The water comes off the glaciers, but contained in that water are minerals and nutrients. Stuff that makes the body strong, functioning immune systems. Those people live to be well into their 90s, 100s on a regular basis, and so. I'm sure Naaman looked at this water and was like, well, I got to dip in this nasty water. But it was the natural remedy, the scientific healing properties contained in the water. Because you can't go dip yourself in chlorine water or purified water or distilled water and get the same natural mineral remedy that you can in a murky body of water replete with such things. So I just thought, man, there are a lot of things about the name and story I enjoy. So, okay, so like I talked about, if you just tuned in to the Life Malcolm Show today, I talked about a little bit about some encounters I had over the course of the weekend. If we want to say the weekend started for me early, like Thursday, Friday, I was in a conference. Saturday, Sunday, with really good friends. Most lawyers or law school graduates, at least. Gun show, told you about that. Then, we did this political education piece, which covered this idea of the fear of responsibility and it being a disease. And I say you could cure that disease. And then, of course, we talked about naming and the disease and the cure. Well, here's another thing that's, something like a disease. You ever heard of the imposter syndrome? I gotta get some guests.
I have not heard of the imposter syndrome. I have not.
No,
heard
not
of
the
that.
improper. Imposter.
No, the imposter. I have not.
Imposter syndrome is a syndrome where one feels like they do not belong in a particular place or amongst a particular crowd. Like, for example, when I first got my bar card and became a lawyer, it's not that I didn't feel like I didn't belong, because I earned it. I did the work. I got, I am where I am because of merit. So wasn't nobody handing me nothing. Wasn't nobody trying to let me get it. It was definitely merit. So I felt like, but the thing is, that's not my life. Like I'm the only lawyer on my father's side of the family. I think it's like 3 or 4 lawyers on my mother's side of the family, and we got huge families. Like my father's mother had 14 children. My mother's mother had 6. I got a lot of family, and I'm only one of maybe 4 or 5 lawyers on my mother's side, and only one on my father's side. So it's not like some of these children or some of these people I went to law school with. I call them children because I'm like 20 years older than them. They like my children's age, but they're not like those people whose mother and father were perhaps lawyers or certainly college graduates and all that kind of stuff. So, those people, you can tell they seem to fit right in. They know exactly what to do, how to be, and so I never really felt a part of that ilk. I never I always felt not like I shouldn't be there. I didn't feel like I shouldn't be there, but I felt like I didn't belong. That makes sense? So like I knew I should be in the courthouse. Like the example I was gonna give you, when I first got my bar card, I get to the courthouse. So I used to go to the courthouse as a defendant. Now I go as a defender, but I used to go as a defendant. I would want to be like the state versus, So,
now the table has turned.
I go up there and I go to the courtroom and I have to sit there until they say I can leave. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's all day. I used to be in that position, right? That's the position and I knew I belonged there because that was how everybody was. So everybody I knew, I got a lot of family who done been defendants. You know what I mean? So I right in the groove. So when I got my bar card, you ever been to court before? Like you ever had to go to court? Mm-hmm. Right. So there's a little thing like they call it a bar because it bars. I don't know why they call it a bar, but it is a bar, and I do know that it bars people from going close to the judge where the lawyers' tables are and all that kind of stuff. And so you can't go up there if you're not a lawyer, if you don't have a card. And and you should go up there if you're a lawyer, you had a card, because you got to sign in for your client, get your client ready. The judge will recognize you and say, hey, call your case so you can go ahead and get up out of there. You're not in there with, all day long. So what what I would do is I would go to court and end up sitting back there with the defendants, like, in the cut, just chilling, with the sitting next to my clients and whatever, just sitting there, and so I knew I belonged in court, but and I mean I knew I should be there, but I didn't. I just felt like I didn't belong up there, and it had to hit me. I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be up there, And so, but anyway, that imposter syndrome thing, I think, comes from, something like what Ho Chi Minh talked about. Once one has done the work to earn cadre status, or at least, made the kind of moves to claim cadre status, you also have to claim the responsibility that comes with that status, and be where you belong. And act like you know that you belong there. So I just want to, I really appreciate the opportunity to come on the show and share these things, because I know it's people who ain't gonna never say the stuff I'm saying, because they gonna act like they got it all together, act like they super confident, they never scared, and I it ain't, being courageous is not being scared. That's not courage. That's crazy. If you're not scared, that's not courageous. That's crazy. Being courageous is being scared and being bold enough to do whatever you need to do in spite of the fear. Yeah, that's courageous. That's courage. I mean, if you're not scared of nothing, you're a dangerous person. If you're not scared of nothing,
right?
So yeah, but if you are a person who are afraid, has those fears, acknowledges those fears, struggles against those fears, and accomplishes in spite of those fears, make sure you stay where you belong despite those fears, then you're a courageous person. And so as I said, you if you have the disease of fear, you can overcome that. What else I want to leave you with? Never seek to duplicate, imitate anybody else. Never seek to mimic, imitate, or duplicate anybody else's lifestyle externally until you've understood the internal condition, because they might be over there with the imposter syndrome. Just because they there, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they did to get there, if they did anything to get there, how they earned it, if they earned it. So, just be yourself. Know that you belong, and cure your disease of fear, take on responsibilities, work in groups, but lead the group at the same time, and all that stuff. So it's been the Life Malcolm Show, y'all. I think it's about time for me to get up out of here. I really appreciate y'all allowing me to share these things with you. I hope it helped a whole lot. And next week, part of our political education is going to be this piece that I want to read. Been wanting to read to y'all for many episodes now. I finally found it. I think we're gonna do it next week. All right, we'll talk in the future, y'all. To be continued.
Love and happiness, yeah. Something that can make you do wrong, make you do right.